If we're ready to get started, I will get us started. All right, we're ready to go.
Okay, I now call to order the October 7th EDTEC meeting at 5:03 p.m. Will the clerk please take roll call?
Commission Member Warner,
Present.
Commission Member Case, Commission Member Congleton,
Here.
Commission Member Peck, here. Commission Member Moorhead,
Here.
Commission Member Allen.
Present.
We do have a quorum.
Okay, did anyone submit a public comment in advance?
No, sir.
Okay. If anyone in attendance, virtual or actual, would like to speak, please raise your hand or use *9 to raise your hand if you're on the phone. We'll now move on to the consent agenda consisting of approval of tonight's October 7th agenda, as well as approval of the August 5th meeting minutes. Are there any items that anyone would like to have removed or comment on the consent agenda? Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
It's approved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, the ayes have it. And the motion is passed. Let's jump to presentations. We have the RFQ or whatever, the Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy. Oh, no, I'm sorry. We're doing the Martin Airfield Planning Study first. Ben, you're up.
Yeah. Ooh. Okay, well, if he isn't on there, I'll just do a very brief Cliff's Notes synopsis of this. So, the general game plan is that they will have the study in a draft form by December for comments and review. Some of the current progress right now on the feasibility study for Martin Airfield is essentially figuring out what could make sense in the future economically. So when you look at all of that, because again, we're trying to make sure broaden our sectors beyond just like your typical tourism, higher education, things like that. We want to diversify the economy here. So some stuff, food manufacturing, merchant wholesalers, professional scientific technical services, and then also industrial machinery equipment wholesalers, general warehousing, support activities, food manufacturing, plastics product manufacturing, different types of manufacturing congruent with aerospace, since that is airport, if you will. During all of this, they've interviewed quite a few folks, Commissioner Fulmer, Chair Moorhead, and then representatives from the county, community development, the port, and then other key employers like the university, and then the existing owner of Martin Airfield, Tarragon Development. And then again, going into the potential light industrial uses, we're just looking at stuff that is definitely congruent with aerospace and then could play a supporting role to like the wine and food manufacturing, and then even some logistics and so forth. So they continue to crunch data on that, but that's the general gist they're aiming at. Then when you get to the site analysis section of this, they're going to be coming up with a concept of how to run pipes and so forth in the area. That's been the major issue for this area of town, because just to do a snapshot to way back when, last time when the whole urban growth allocation occurred back in 19, we originally were not going to expand in this direction, but then with changing ownership and so forth, it changed the trajectory of that property. And now it's in the city, but really there is no infrastructure in place in the ground past Homestead subdivision. So it's planning for the future. Right now there is no sanitary sewer across Martin Airfield. However, the silver lining is that right to the south of Martin Airfield, right beyond the bluff, is our wastewater treatment plant. It's not that far away. So the general sewer plan, which we have from 2022, it basically suggested just putting in a new lift station and pumping it over a hill into a treatment plant. Industrial wastewater, the big twist there, and I've asked for them to do some deeper analysis, is that if we do have anything that would be tangentially wine related, a lot of times, because it does introduce different types of organic compounds into your wastewater treatment plant, you have to do additional treatment. So we need to do some evaluations as far as can our plant, even with the improvements we're doing, handle that, or do we need to put like a pre-treatment option on some of these industrial one of these if they come in here, because it just depends on what the type of effluent is entering the treatment plant. Now going to the water service. It is in our retail service area, so that basically means we have the legal ability, and it's our sole area we're the sole water purveyor that can provide water to this area. There is no on-site distribution system. So currently how Martin Airfield operates, the well out there is actually a residential well, believe it or not, even though it's an airport. So that means they can only pull like up to 5,000 gallons and that's it. So that definitely puts limitations on them. So I mean, that's one of the reasons they joined in the city to connect to the system. Our 2020 water system plan, we did that after the whole urban growth plan boundary issue from 2019. So we did do some very conceptual planning. In that effort, it suggested a 16-inch main line go out that way. So one of the things that we're going to be looking at doing is, again, right over the hill where the wastewater treatment plant is at, we are currently assembling funding for a new water reservoir. And the big issue there is with the existing water storage facilities we have. Right now we have like a 600,000 gallon storage deficiency. So, and that's for everything that's in town right now. So what we're going to be doing with this new water storage tank is we're upsizing it. So to meet the current deficiency, you'd be talking about 600,000 gallons. We're aiming for 1 million gallons of storage because we're trying to avoid like what happened with Road 68 in Pasco, which is why they have the 2 water towers there. So we're just trying to do this correctly the first time. So that's really the issues with that. Now going to current progress, getting into traffic. If you've driven out this way, you may see traffic counters. They are not ours, they're the consultants. So to get better bang for a buck, we're really doing a variety of traffic counts on a multitude of intersections because we have two congruent planning efforts underway right now. One is this Martin Airfield study, but then the other one is what's called a Safe Streets for All plan. The Federal Department of Transportation's paying for that, and it's ways to fix up local streets so they meet like complete street standards, and that means like where all modes can go on streets, like bicycles, buses, vehicles, walkers, everything. So we're doing both these studies tangentially. For this effort, they're collecting traffic counts at a lot of key intersections. So Hampton Lane at the edge of Martin Airfield, the airfield entrance, then intersections over at Homestead and Dones and Whitman, and then also Academy Way in Whitman, and then all around the university. So Davis and Whitman in College, and then Fourth in College. And then I've also asked them to include intersections at McKinney Road, which is right on the edge of Martin Airfield. Quite a bit of traffic uses that as like a cutaway to get up a Highway 12. And then also Last Chance Road and Old Highway 12. Because one of the things that I've asked this consultant to really look at with the traffic is that if we have some light industrial uses that support aerospace adjacent to this airfield, I really think to allow some trucks over there, you're really going to need to fix up Last Chance Road because it's not like you're going to be running freight traffic through a university and an academic campus. So it needs to come from the other direction. But that part of Last Chance Road is built to rural standards. So what does all that look like in the future? The idea is that this study will help analyze that. Now going to the next slide, which is the schedule completion. We're at the tail end of the site analysis. When we meet back up next month, we're going to take a deep dive into where we're tasking them with coming up with some conceptual analysis of what the infrastructure improvements look like, especially Whitman Drive, Last Chance Road. What does all that look like? Because we're going to have to coordinate with the county because our city limits don't go out that far. And then we're hoping to wrap this up by the end of the year because this is going to all inform the upcoming comprehensive plan effort. Jurisdictions have to update those every about 8 years or so, and we're now due for our update. So this is going to provide a nice baseline of data for this section of the community because our last comprehensive plan from 8 years ago, it actually doesn't even mention Martin Airfield because back then we were pulling it out of the city. So this is like an unnamed area in the existing comprehensive plan. But with that is the general gist of things. Questions or thoughts on anything?
Okay, thank you, Mike. There are no action agenda items, so we'll jump to the staff reports. And the first one is the Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy, RFQ, Mr. Rizzatello.
Thank you. So this is just a call to action on this, and I've already gotten the grades from a couple of you, but I just wanted to remind everyone of this. So we did get a grant from the Federal Economic Development Administration to pay for a comprehensive economic development strategy. And the general concept of this is that typically SEDs are done at county level. However, our Port that acts as the development agency, they don't do it to the SEDS criteria. And we've inquired and there currently isn't a desire to. So with that, we contacted the EDA because again, going back at a comprehensive plan effort, economic development's an element of it. That so we're gonna have to update it, and the EDA, they were gracious enough to give us a grant to cover it. So this work will be to the SEDS criteria, and that's a much deeper dive going into the underlying data dynamics, essentially, of how all the economic sectors are performing, and then essentially seeing what makes sense for the community as a whole moving forward. This is very attractive because when we get a SEDS plan complete and accepted by the EDA, it opens up opportunities to get quite a bit of federal economic development administration public works grant money. So this could potentially pay for the water tower, even some of those earlier concepts we were all working on, like the flex buildings up on the concept up by the Google MLE property on Rose Street. So we get a plan like this in place, it's going to open up a lot of doors for different types of federal grant money. So I would just ask for those that haven't graded it yet, please do so, because this is really important work. So we want to make sure we choose the correct consultant. So I'll send it out again, but just please get the scores in by the end of the week. So because that way by the end of the month, I would like to have the council recommend whoever we're going to grant this to. And for this one, we only got 2 submissions, so it's not too long.
So we're basically just scoring the 2
Yeah,
Mets group versus economic growth strategies.
correct.
You want to call out who hasn't submitted yet? Allison has.
Yeah.
I have. Okay. Thank you, Mike.
Yep.
Next one is the SS4A plan, Mr. Rizzello.
Hey, thank you. So I'm gonna send out an email with this too. And I'm not gonna go through the whole long PowerPoint, but I'm just gonna give you a synopsis of this. This grant and program is one of the few federal programs that doesn't depend upon federally classifying roads. That has always been a major issue here in College Place because most of your federal and state grant programs depend upon a road being federally classified. And the only way you can get that is if you hit traffic counts above like 500 vehicles a day. So when we get complaints about, well, hey, why do you fix 4th Street, but why haven't you fixed Birch Street or things like that? It's not because we're being haters on a certain street. It's that there's grant opportunities for the federal classified roads. So like Whitman, Academy Way, Dones even, large ones like that, but then others, you're left to your own devices, if you will. This new program, the federal government has is Safe Streets for All. This is like the only program they have that isn't dependent upon federal classification. So that means if we get this plan going, and let's say a street is listed for improvement in here, when they open up implementation grant dollars, and if this plan is approved, then we'll actually have a bucket of money to compete for streets like Birch and 9th and smaller ones like that. So there's going to be a lot of outreach efforts these coming months. I will send you a link to it, but they have issued like a little interactive map, and we've shared it on Facebook and our other types of social media. And if there's areas that just you find that are a crash hazard or just irritating and need to be fixed, if you mark up on that map, the consultant is going to aggregate all of that data and prioritize it. And then when the Utility and Traffic Commission with our city council, once they adopt this plan, this is going to be a first time these local streets actually have a bucket of grant money to compete for, which is pretty cool. So this is really important work, and I want to make sure you were aware of that.
On the traffic count map, what are those peach sections that are labeled urban growth boundary mean to that part of, or those little sections?
Yeah.
Of town? Actually, I'm sorry, the other one. the traffic count. It's the first, the first document.
oh, oops,
Yeah, that one.
yeah. Let's see. So any little peach ones, it might be that those are areas that, so urban growth boundary, what that is those are areas that aren't in the incorporated city limits. So, and what's strange with the state of Washington, is that, and this is why it's key to get your comprehensive plan and your buildable lands analysis dialed in, is it's not like other states where, let's say, if you're next to the city and you want to annex, you file a form and you can. You have to be in what's designated as an urban growth area. And it's really key to make sure that whatever is in there that moves, otherwise you're basically stuck and away from growing. What's a little strange is that, again, because this city was incorporated after, I'll just say, a lot of the urban environment was developed because the university being nearby, we have a lot of what's called unincorporated islands in the middle of the city. And what's strange with the unincorporated islands in the state, in other states, you can basically forcibly make them annexing. In this state, you really can't. Because if you aren't providing services to them, there really is no way to do that. So with a couple of these unincorporated islands, we have other irrigation districts that provide the water. So there really is nothing to hold anyone to that way. So really it's the only way you can get them in is, let's say, if their septic system failed and they needed to connect to our wastewater system, well then, hey, they have to annex at that point. But otherwise you're stuck in a little bit of a stalemate situation. So the area near Wallula Avenue, also the cemetery off Myra Road, and then there's a couple of little properties one to north of Commercial Drive and one at the very end of Mockingbird by Country Estates, and then a batch of 4 homes near Homestead are actually out in the county yet surrounded by the city. It's weird.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Okay, next up is a community events update. Mrs. Garcia.
The city of College Place is excitedly planning our Halloween festival, our festivities. We're planning on pumpkin bowling, pumpkin tic-tac-toe, a hay pyramid, hopefully. That's up in the air. A photo booth with a backdrop from a local business, as well as a camera stand, fire department kids maze, Halloween word search, word scramble, games on A boards to engage people standing in line. Obviously, the trunk competition, the traditional trunk or treat activities, on which or at which attendees will be able to vote. And we'll be playing music to make the mood feel festive. And we'll have food and some drink vendors there.
Fantastic. Anything on this Kenneth Brooks Field Day?
So that is something that we have decided to do hopefully next year as part of so Valley-wide, we've been regionally working on efforts to brand our region that complements the entire region, complementary to each other, as well as like our own individualized identity. As part of that, College Place is health and wellness centered. We love peace and tranquility. We value our public safety and stuff here. And so as part of that, in addition to having our Olympian, I would like to introduce next year this Kenneth Brooks Field Day idea, which is to kind of celebrate the community that built the Olympian that came out of here. I have a whole bunch of thoughts on this paper. I get really excited about this stuff. The more that I've thought about it, the more that I've thought that it could be, for sure celebrating the Olympian, but to go on annually, I would love to celebrate the culture of College Place that built that man, right? And this idea that there is a lot of health and wellness. Should I tell them about the
Yeah.
car wash thing?
Yeah.
Idea.
Yeah.
So it's not a car wash, it's a human car wash. And the idea is that you can walk down College Avenue and imagine you're beat down and you're tired and you're dirty or whatever. You can go to the hair salon and then you can eat really healthy and you can get your health shake and then you can get a massage and acupuncture and go to the chiropractor if you have to and get a perm and then get some really yummy local organic food and pop out the end of College Avenue all spruced up. And all that to say that we're branding College Place as, a very healthy, community. People walk outside here, harnessing that culture that has, now we have the blue zones as well. And kind of all of this is coming together, hopefully, in this Olympian celebration event. It cannot be named anything remotely Olympics related, and that is going to be a challenge, is figuring out a name that captures the branding efforts as well as the excitement of having an Olympian without saying Olympian. So
Thank you for sharing that and for your enthusiasm. Last item is the 2024 development update. Mr. Rizzatello.
Hey, thank you. I'll go over just the key items that are moving to date. So, Jersey Mike's over at Meadowbrook, their sign is up and they're moving equipment in there. They are still on task for the Thanksgiving opening that they've been saying the last couple of months. So, we believe that'll happen. Walmart, they've done a dramatic renovation in there. It's getting close to wrapping up, but they've reorganized several areas now. So they have a central channelization for the cash registers now. And then they also redid some of the flooring, moved like the alcohol section of the back, and they're actually redoing a bunch of back area. They decided to repave pretty much about 80% of the parking lot. At first, they were just going to do some spot, and the parking lot be up enough. They went ahead and just redid most of it. And then if you look to the south side of the building, they actually are in a process of building like a little mini warehouse for people who go and have the grocery pickup. So that way people can just pull in and it's right there. So that's under construction. So they've actually put a lot of money into their facility. The car wash concept over in Meadowbrook, no update, but they still are pursuing that. Project Murph, that one seems to be moving forward. It sounds like it's a stalemate though until the rest of Walmart gets spruced up, then it'll move to that. But that would be to add a gas station over there, which is sorely needed. Project Palouse, they're continuing due diligence. That would be for the commercial development in front of Stone Creek. Project Cobble, we submitted that TIB grant for the roundabout. So we're really a waiting game to hear what happens with that. Project Hammer, they're doing some due diligence, mainly down on the SR 125 corridor out by the property across from the high school, and then also some Ira Road properties as well. Project Bullseye, that one isn't a holding pattern really having to do with the roundabout. Same with Project OPH. Project FH, they're still negotiating option agreement. Project DE, this one, they're waiting for Walla to complete the work on removing the whole pork chop thing before they reach out to do a deal on that property, because that whole pork chop preventing left turns on commercial has been an issue, but they're going to be removing that with the roundabout. at SR 125 in Myra. Project Y, that one, we're in a little bit of a holding pattern just because the operator of that grocery store, they're wanting to sell outlet they have up in Airway Heights and then put that money into acquiring the property down here and then building the store. So I'm waiting to hear how that goes down. Project MP, that's another hotel. They're asking together investors. That would be over near Hop Thief. Project FM, that one, they really are looking at some property near the SR 125 and College intersection. I think the whole concept of the roundabouts down there is really what's going to push that one over. Project Flight, that one is really going to be congruent with what comes out of the study, which I basically did a synopsis of. And then Project Long, that is a deal over on Commercial Drive, and they're just going through last markups on engineering. On the residential side of the coin, last phase is a homestead. They're just waiting to develop till they're done with the Avery Estates project over in Walla Walla. Dawson Cottages off of Birch, that's pretty near completion. Northwest Residential, this is a property off Southwest 6th that used to be a mobile home park, but the property owner there is basically looking at re-engaging on that and then potentially putting in like duplex structures. Villages of Fort Walla Walla. I was getting worried about this. However, the end of September, they actually purchased the building permit, so cash has changed hands. So I believe they're doing some. Otherwise, I don't think they would have paid that bill. So jury's out on that, but they did pay their bill. So Sermon Development, those are in construction over in Spitzenberg, and those are going up quickly. Lakeside College Holdings Development, they filed a master plan development application. They need to give us some additional detail. They will furnish the additional detail to us once we have it and it's deemed as a complete application. It then will go through a hearing examiner process. So I suspect that'll be scheduled for sometime in the spring. There'll probably be multiple hearings on that one just because of the size of the development. It's a lot of homes down there. So Villages of Garrison Creek, phase 11 and 13, the site infrastructure is being installed. So that's good. And they're moving and essentially staking the lots and getting ready to go on all of that. Deer Meadows at Southwest 12th. They continue to kick around what type of development wants to go on. I mean, it'll be a residential development, but they're debating between single family homes or like townhomes or stuff like that. So we continue to work with the property owner on that. Martin Airfield, again, a lot of this will be dictated by what comes out of the study we just went over, and this would be for the land to the south of the active airfield. Project Dairy, this is tied with the university. They own lands to the west of Martin Airfield, and just the next time the urban growth applications open up, it sounds like they want to partner with the private sector and make something happen. Likewise, Project Sod, that is an old sod farm north of Wallula Avenue to the west of Sunset Villa, and similar concept. About 25% of land is in the city, 75% is not in the city or the UGA, and they want everything in. So we will work with them when those applications open up. And then Salerno Estates, that's the final one, and they essentially are just getting everything in place to put those couple of homes in on the south side of Southwest 12th on the edge of town. So that's a synopsis of what's going on currently.
Good update. Thanks, Mike. Any questions for Mike? Okay, the next meeting is set for November 4th. And could I get a motion to conclude the meeting?
I'll motion.
Thank you. Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. If there's no objection, the meeting is now concluded at 6:38 PM. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
5:30, sorry.
It's still a permit, but I don't, if it wouldn't happen, like they would have made squat, so. It is, yeah. Yeah.
We make 260.
Yeah. Yeah.
One building.
Yeah.
right? One of the four.
Yeah, one of the four. So, yeah, I was starting,
They want to make it go though.
they wanted to, I